Good morning to all. I'm narrating one story, The Face on the Wall, written by E.V. Lucas, a famous English writer. E.V. Lucas was known as a witty and observant essayist. The Face on the Wall is one of his popular works. So the story begins at Dabney Place, where a group of people, including the narrator, were present. They were talking about unusual events that had no natural explanations. The narrator saw that a little man with a pale face was listening to them carefully but didn't say a word. He was one of the guests. The guest, on being asked to share an event of such a manner, agreed to speak of an incident that was its end that same afternoon. Obviously, the people gathered there were curious to hear of a real life incident and listened attentively as the guest spoke. The guest was staying in Great Ormond Street of London. The house was an old one. He was rented the house. The walls of the room were painted, but were damp and patchy. The man found it strange that one patch never grew bigger like the other damp patches. It remained the same. The patch resembled of a face of a man. It was the time when he fell sick with influenza, and all day long he had nothing to do but read or think. And it was then that the face began to get a firm hold of him. It grew more and more real and remarkable. It filled his thoughts day and night. There was a curious curve of the nose, and the forehead was remarkably long. In fact, of an uncommon man, a man in a thousand. The man was convinced that this face on the wall existed in real life. He thought that this face is very familiar and it is a face of a friend. He started searching the face in all the gatherings where he go. He started searching the face in the streets, in workplace, and where he was traveling throughout the day. The guest became obsessed with the face and made numerous inquiries. He began to look for someone who looked like the face on the wall. He looked for him in busy and crowded places like political meetings, football matches, railway stations, but in vain. He also started searching the old pictures, the albums, to familiar with the face. The tired man seemed about to give up the search when at last he saw the face in the crowd. He was in a taxi driving east along Piccadilly. He took at a taxi and followed him onto the Charing Cross. He rushed onto the platform and found his man with two ladies and a little girl. They were going to France. The guest stayed there trying to get a word with him, but in vain. He hastily purchased a ticket of Folkestone, hoping that he would catch him on the boat before it sailed. This man seemed to be a millionaire, he thought. He had to meet him. He followed the man with the face. He waited for him, turned to speak to him. He wanted for hours, but just managed to ask for his business card. He was shocked to read the man on the card. It said, Mr. Ormond Wall, with an address in the USA. He tried to find out more detail about Mr. Ormond Wall from various sources, but all in vain. Time passed away. The face on the wall became like a roommate for the man, but it reminded a mystery to him that what a patch on the wall of a house in London could resemble a face of a millionaire who lived in the USA. One fine morning, the man woke up and saw that the face on the wall had faded. It was bright and clear the previous evening. He got up confused, and it is very unusual that he felt upset and sad because he was attached with that face. As a routine, he browsed the daily. The headlines in the newspaper said Mr. Ormond Wall, a millionaire from USA, had met with a motor accident in Italy the previous night. His condition was critical. The man was dumbstruck. He sat staring at the face on the wall. Suddenly it completely disappeared. Later he found that at that same moment Mr. Ormond Wall was died on his injuries. The face on the wall was gone forever, along with the man who ceased to live. So this is very unusual story which have no connection with the real world. And the poem which I wrote on this story is, please listen the story first and then listen the poem, so you will understand the poem nicely. The Face on the Wall, a famous story, and the poem written on it is: there were patches on my bedroom wall, unnoticed and unrecognized till the yesterday's squall. It flashes over and again with every lightning fall. My eyes were stuck on the patches of the wall. It was an image painted by yellow luminol. Oh, surprisingly, it was an impression of hominol. Day and night, night and day, I used to stare at the wall. Now for me other things were pull. I wondered, was he a close pull? The man who was smiling on my wall. Roads and bridges, society and hall. I searched for him all the European call. He took me in like a burglar's hall. Oh, I found him. He was the millionaire named Ormond Wall. A spitting image, destined to be the same fatal. One dwindled, other accidental. So, the explanation of the poem is, the first line, there were patches on my bedroom wall, unnoticed and unrecognized, till the yesterday's squall. Means the bedroom wall patch was unnoticed and unrecognized till the yesterday's squall. Squall means a sudden storm with strong wind, which make this patch on the wall. It flashes over and again with every lightning fall. My eyes were stuck on the patches of the wall. That means whenever the lightning, outside lightning was there, the patches look more glowing and the eyes of the narrator was stuck with that. Day and night, night and day, I used to stare the wall. Now for me other things were pull. But before that the line is, it was an image painted by yellow luminol. Oh, surprisingly, it was an impression of hominol. So the meaning of luminol is, it is a chemical which is white to pale yellow color and which is used to paint on the wall. So the image was a dam which is made by the yellow luminol which is painted on the wall, and the impression is look like a hominol. Hominol means a human shape. Day and night, night and day, I used to stare the wall. Now for me other things are pull. Pull, P-A-L-L, pull means to become less important. Everything was less important for the narrator that time, except the face on the wall. Roads and bridges, society and hall. I searched for him all the European Gaul. Gaul means a native. So the author trying to search him throughout his native, wherever he go. He took me in like a burglar's hall. Burglar's hall means to pull something with difficulty. Oh, I found him. He was the millionaire named Ormond Wall. A spitting image, destined to be the same fatal. Spitting image means someone or something that looks very much like someone else. Same looking. Spitting image means one dwindled, other accidental. So the image which is on the wall and the other person who was look similar like the patch was same end, like one is dwindled. Dwindle means to be faded, and accidental means accident. So one face was faded by dwindle and another was by accident. Now, children, you will write a poem on a story, and this is an example video which I am sharing. Thank you.